All right, number 2, never run out of content ideas. Never, ever, ever run out of content ideas. Number 2, create landing pages for your major markets and regional identifiers. This is kind of similar to what we talked about, what you just mentioned, what we talked about in the last episode, which is people search in terms of their own problems and their own, in this case, regional identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the example we used was if you're a construction company, you need to have a page for kitchen remodeling because people don't always search for construction company. They search in terms of their own need. Likewise, people search for their own region, and not just region, or not just major market, but regional identifiers. So this might be like a neighborhood or a section of town that's not really a city, but people will search in relationship to that. Where I'm from in East Tennessee, there's a small town called Maryville, Tennessee.
Oh, it's pronounced Merville.
Merville. If you're listening to this in East Tennessee, sorry, it's Merville.
Merville. Yeah.
And so if you're a Maryville plumber, you definitely want to have a page for Maryville because that's your service area. But there's also a little small town off from Maryville, bordering Maryville, called Friendsville. Friendsville probably doesn't have any like plumbing companies that are, it's probably 3,000 people. I don't know. But people in Friendsville will search for Friendsville plumbers because they don't know.
Yep.
So the Maryville plumber needs to have a page for Friendsville plumbing companies because of how people search. So if you're thinking about, when you're thinking about your content, think about the market that you serve and any sub-markets. So we're in Nashville. So what would be some sub-markets of Nashville?
Oh yeah, there's so many.
Berry Hill.
Yeah, Brentwood, Cool Springs, Franklin, Antioch, Murfreesboro. Even
like neighborhoods
East Nashville, Green Hills,
Bellevue,
which is really more of a neighborhood. Yeah.
So so you can do this for your own city, your own market. You know the nooks and crannies. You know the areas of town that have a name, and people identify as from there. But there's not necessarily like a government
it may not be a municipality. Yeah.
Those are regional identifiers. So think about all the regional identifiers.
Even saying Middle Tennessee.
Sure. Yeah. Middle Tennessee. So think about your major markets, your regional identifiers, and build landing pages specifically for keywords related to that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good one. And often to tag onto that, if you have that page, even though search engines have gotten better at knowing where people are, and since I'll call it October of last year, there was a big shift toward showing local service providers, not just letting providers with an SEO agency dominate nationally. Even though that's gotten better, if you have a local page, often you'll get your homepage to come up and get an additional listing of your localization page, or flip-flop your localization page and then your homepage. So that has a benefit, frankly, of pushing competition off the page.
Sure.
So so we do that a lot. So even though search engines have gotten better at this, it's still a good tactic for a lot of reasons.